come out here and chitter-chatter about what matter. Oh, man. Christmas is coming. I've been trying to get better in every area. I'm getting better in every area of my life. I'm working on the required behaviors, the patience, the diligence, the focus, all of those things that help you to just grow in your life. I know one of the things that's interesting is that when I was young, uh, I tried to play football in high school. Stories for another day, but I'm trying out for the team. And I remember this coach that was working with me, he kept saying to me, he kept telling me to do my footwork a specific way. Now, as a young man, pretty strong, pretty big, was able to push some people around. So I couldn't understand what his obsession was with trying to make me do things in a different way. I kept saying, like, I don't get it. Like, I'm winning. Like, why are you trying to show me this other way to do this thing? I'm winning it the way I'm doing it. And so, in my mind, he was trying to change me. And so I said that. I'm like, why are you trying to change me? He says, I'm not trying to change you. I'm trying to change the way you're doing what you're doing so you can grow. Now, as a teenager, I said to myself, man, screw you. You trying to get me. I was, I was like, I don't believe you. I don't want no parts. But as a young man growing up, I'm now understanding that what he was saying was so true, because a lot of people say that they hate change, but it's really not change, because what change requires is that we be aware and participatory. And if we're not aware and we don't want to participate, that means we don't want to grow. And everything in life is growing. Everything is growing. And so it's not change that people are so fearful of. People are resistant to growth. And when you decide to say, I don't want to grow anymore, like I'm done growing, then you're dying from that point on. Good morning. I see a lot of people checked in. Thank you for checking in. I want to make sure everybody is having a blessed morning. Thank you for being here. Jay Dennis, welcome in. Everyone for being here. Of course, Ghost, Erica, Jay Dennis, God bless you too, brother. Who's that? 3772. It's a little cold out here. No question, it's a little cold. And so I want to say thank you for all of the comments, guys, all the participation. Thank you again. And as we do this walk this morning, guys, I want you guys to know that the focus is always positivity. Hi, hello, welcome in. How you doing, JP? The focus is always positivity, development, and growth. I'm so sorry about that. This is my little look from the top of the hill. sorry I got to moderate this on my own, but sometimes people, it is what it is. So for those of you who are here, who want to be here, who want to be a part of the walk and talk, I appreciate it. For those of you who have been removed and kicked, I appreciate you stopping in. But let's move on, guys. And so today's topic is the devil is in the details. This is up in Northern Maryland. It's just in my neighborhood. There's a little, at the top of the hill in my little neighborhood, this is a little overlook we have. Yeah, indeed, you gotta ignore the hate. Sometimes you gotta kick them, you know what I'm saying? You gotta spend some time kicking them. But I found during my little bit of time here on YouTube, it's easy to ignore the hate, but most of the time the people aren't trying to get a reaction from the creator. Most of the time they're trying to get a reaction from the other people who are in the stream, and it's a distraction. It kills, it kills energy. So that's why I notice, like, you'll notice some people have a lot of moderators, right? And they're like, everybody in there will have a little blue moderator symbol. And people add so many moderators because it gets to a point where people just feel like, hey, let me just kick everybody. Everybody who doesn't have something positive to say, let me kick them. But for you guys who are here, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the walk and talk. Thank you for participating. This morning, we're talking about the devil in the details, guys, and what it means when we say that. So when we look at the devil being in the details, guys, what we're saying is that it comes from an old saying, right? Thank you very much. Kicks, welcome in. Rockin' pooches, what does that say? The internet is full of frustrated bullies. Indeed, a lot of frustration out there. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Everybody says be yourself. You get on the internet and they'll tell you what to do. No, never stop being yourself. Don't assume that what people share with you about trying to be somewhere else. A lot of times it's just about incorporating the elements that are going to help you be the best version of yourself. And that's what I'm talking about this morning when I'm talking about the devil's in the details. And the devil in the details comes from an old saying. It was from French and German. And it actually started out as God's in the details because it was a focus on saying that being precise, being focused on the little things is what's going to help it to be successful. It's going to help whatever you do, whatever you're working on, be successful. But during that time, English wasn't the predominant language used around the world. Um, Countries were pretty much focused that they spoke the language that was local, that was, as much expansion as happened out of Europe and elsewhere. Um, People were still pretty native with their tongue, and so and when the devil in the details came from after the World War II, the First World War was called a Great War, but anyway, after World War II, English started to spread. And then as English started to spread, the saying kind of transitioned into the devil's in the details. And what that simply meant is because an industrialization was taking place, areas were growing more quickly, you came to find out that large endeavors did not fall apart in the centralized hub. They didn't fall apart in the concept and in the think tank or the heart of where that thing was happening. It fell apart on the fringes. So it's on the outside. So those things that are in the small parts are where they have a tendency to unravel and come apart. So that's where the saying devil in the details comes from. Tabulation. Merry Christmas to you as well. um, and I don't know if that comments for me, Wisdom, but thank you for being here. Welcome in. So one of the things, so what I want to share, what I'm talking about this morning, and what I want to focus on this morning is how we take those details, how we apply those details to our life, how we apply them to our behaviors. What's up? How you doing? Thank you for being here. And how we use that to help ourselves continue to grow, help ourselves to continue to reach towards our goals. So a lot of people, especially going into the new year, have these New Year resolutions. People want to do things. I want to change. I want to grow. I want to improve in this area, from losing weight to what else? You want to lose weight. I want to make more money. I want to be a better version. I want to do so many things. And so many people have all of these endeavors that they look to achieve over the upcoming year. But even with these things that we want to do, the grand scheme is easy to do, right? The big move is easy, right? I want to make more money. Okay, that's cool. You want to make more money. So what do you need to do? And so what starts to happen, and this is why I talk so much about discipline, is we start off with these grand dreams, these big ideas, and then we start to have to actually put it together, right? We have to start performing the behaviors. We have to start understanding. Once we start undertaking the task, we have to start understanding that there are things that we're doing that we may have to do differently. As I said before, this coach kept trying to tell me to do things a certain way. And I'm like, you're trying to change me. And he was like, no, I'm trying to change the way you're doing what you're doing so I can help you grow. And for a lot of us, we believe that once we've got to where we're going to be, we figured it out. And we stop looking at the details. And so when we're talking about New Year's resolutions, growth, anything that we want to do in our finances and our faith and our family, developing better relationships, getting closer to our family and loved ones, when we start doing that thing, you understand it starts to take work. It's not just one grand gesture. It takes time, and the more time it takes, the more details have to be checked off. And as you start checking off the details, you start to understand that these specifics are what holds it together. Oh, the big things you can do, right? All of the large scale elements you're performing well. But the devil's in the details. Or as they say, God is in the details. Simply meaning, if you want to be the best version of it, if you want to do it the best, if you want to have and perform at your highest level possible, you have to be detail oriented. You have to start having accountability. And the thing is, as you get bigger, as everything gets bigger, the details become more important. And so many of us lose out because we don't maintain what we have been taught to do because we are not focused on those details. We don't maintain what we are interested in doing because we're not staying focused on those details. Good morning, welcome in. So, what I'm doing now, what I'm encouraging everyone to do, is to take a look at this thing that you're working on. Whatever it is, a lot of people want to do New Year's resolutions. You don't have to wait until the New Year's. Whatever it is that you're working on this year. Today, as I said before, is the 13th of December. It's Saturday. It's a cold Saturday here in Maryland. But the thing that's happening now is take a look at what you want to do. Don't wait to do it later. Don't wait until after the new year begins. You don't have to put it off. Whatever it is, start taking a look at the details of it. Okay? Because as you start stacking details, you start seeing development, you start seeing growth, you start seeing that building of those behaviors. Philadelphia, welcome in. Peace to you as well. I want to say that when you start stacking those things on top of each other and you start putting them together, then you start seeing progress. We have this vision, like we have this wide field of view, but we have to be able to dig down and look at the details. And I'll tell you, one of the toughest things for me to do was to look at the details in my life. I spent a lot of my life looking out at how others behaved and how other people were and how the history of the world was and how that dictated what my life was right now. My life is this way because they did that. My life is this way because this happened then. My circumstances, my income, my opportunities were all a certain way because of something that happened previously. And as a child, to a degree, that's true. You're limited in what you're capable of doing simply because you haven't developed the physical or mental resources and capability to change that, to be able to grow beyond that. But we don't have to live in that space. We don't have to live in a space of constantly being a role player in our own lives. There's a point when you have to take center stage. And when you take center stage, your actions become the dictator of your life. What you do, what you choose to do, and how you choose to act controls where you go. Very good, Wisdom. Thank you for putting that in there. Wisdom says, if you say, I want to love somebody, when you try, it will only work when you're ready to spend sacrificing your time, a lot of time with them, but not just taking your kids for a holiday once, but spending daily 2 hours. Right. You have to sit down and spend time. And so you have to invest. Right. And it's not in the behaviors. And the challenges are is that quite often we want to put the behaviors onto the others. We want to put the impetus and the response and the responsibilities. Yes, it's cold. Like y'all, man, it's 20 some degrees up here. So we want to put that responsibility onto others. We want to say, hey, well, you know, this is this way because of you. Like this situation is this way because of you. And I'm not saying that other people don't play a part, especially when it comes to relationships. But here's the key. Here's the key. And this is the challenge for so many people is you're still the person in control of what you do, how you respond, how you react, where you are. And so many of us spend our lives trying to tell others how they should act, trying to explain to others how they are wrong in what they said and what they do and how they respond, right? These are the types of things that are going to create a distance and consistently keep you trying to recover because you're trying to change other people. You're trying to tell other people how to respond to you versus walking your walk and living your life. And that's going to be key because as we keep saying, the devil's in the details. And when you get distracted, and this is one of the biggest things that stand in the way of progress and growth, distractions will kill your details. Without question, distractions will absolutely destroy your ability to focus on the details, and then this collapse that everyone is so fearful of happens. That's how magic tricks work. They get you to look here and everything's happening over there. Welcome in. Happy Saturday to you as well. There's so many different ways in which distractions can hold us back, can set us back. The focus has to be, however, when we start to understand that the work that we're interested in doing for ourselves in any area, one, requires discipline. First and foremost, discipline is going to need to be paramount. I want to share with you guys the 4 pillars of discipline. You can carry this with you, and I'm telling you, I'm guaranteeing you, because I've used it, these 4 pillars of discipline will help you grow and push your life to new levels, because growth is paramount. Growth is our focus. Doing great. So, the thing that we want to have to understand, guys, is discipline is this. 1, repetition. Repetition is simply being able to do something, right? Repetition is just getting up and doing something. You're not grading it. You're not keeping score. You're not trying to be the best in the world at it. It's just getting started on that thing. That's repetition. And then you're going to have to be patient. Hey, whatever this thing is that I'm working on, it's not going to be perfect right now. I'm not going to be the best at it right now, but I'm going to get better. I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to improve. I'm going to see growth. And then that's going to be the second pillar, is patience. You're working on it. You're developing the skill. Why do you need to start with repetition and patience? Because everyone believes that consistency is the most important part of discipline. And it is. But you can't be consistent at something that you do not have the skill to perform. And you get that skill and that talent through repetition and patience. Repetition and patience are the practice portion of it. Those 2 things, those 2 pillars, are how you get to consistency, because you must first learn the skill and be patient in learning it before you can start to grade it. Kids don't walk into kindergarten and first thing they do is get a math test. You don't test the kid the moment they walk in. No, you have to start with repetition. This is why children are on different levels, because in some homes, the parents have already started that repetition. Singing your ABCs, learning patterns and colors, understanding that you can put these things together. All of these things go towards developing and growing with consistency. But we have to start somewhere. And we have to start with this element of repetition and patience. After we do repetition and patience, then consistency. Consistency is where we take what we've learned, we grade it, and we start to set an expectation. When we set an expectation, it's going to have a requirement for performance. Good morning. Once we have this requirement for performance, then we need to start to meet it. We need to start to inspect what we expect. So now we're grading, we're moving forward, we're starting to grow. Finally, it's perseverance, guys. Perseverance is all about being able to understand, while I'm doing this, there will be challenges. There will be things that arise. There will be things that will want to impact my consistency. And in most situations, those are distractions. In order for us to persevere, we're going to have to work through that. You'll feel it. You'll see it. It'll impact you. But the perseverance is where the true growth happens. That's where you truly figure out how to become in control of your destiny, is when you understand all of these things, all of these headwinds that you walk into, all of this pushback, all of these challenges, all of these things are merely designed to help you become stronger and more resistant, so that when you are completed, once you are truly on that path and you're truly achieving successfully, that you'll continue to go. You'll continue to grow. You'll continue to build. That's discipline. When you do that, you have to start focusing on details. You'll start to see that focusing on the details, understanding the details, engaging in a way that allows for you to be in control of your walk, your destiny, is in the hands of your discipline. Somebody ran past me when I was on the walk. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you, everyone, for checking in. Again, guys, as you check in, do me a favor. Let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is where you are. I am up here, as I said before, in Maryland. It is now 6:14 in the morning, people, on this Walk and Talk, December 13th. Today is actually Saturday. It's getting close to Christmas. My days are kind of blurring together. So, guys, those details matter. Are you looking at the details of your life? Are you looking at the things that you're doing at your job? Do you know what the details are? One of the main things that has to happen for so many people is to understand that you may not even know what's necessary in order to achieve it. Daryl, good Lord. Snow, welcome in. You in Ohio. Like, good Lord. That's probably, man, we got 6 inches of snow here. We done for a few days. Like, they shut the highway down. So when we look at our life and we look at what we're trying to achieve, we have to understand that the details quite often aren't known to us. I'm ready to go to Tampa in January. You're trying to get away from there. Man, you want to avoid snow in Ohio, you're going to have to stay in Tampa first 3 months of the year. You don't go back to Ohio until like April. So in order for us to truly understand how things work, guys, it's important to actually know what the details are, right? The details matter. And when we don't pay attention to the details, and I've talked about this before, for a lot of people, for a lot of life, people live in distress, they live in anger, they live in a bad place mentally and emotionally. Then you have to understand, for a lot of those people, when they get in that space, they continue to do the things that got them in that space, right? So if you're arguing with someone and you're like, I don't want to have this argument anymore, you can't continue to do the things that are creating or feeding the argument, or you're just arguing, right? And so what does this mean? When I talk about the devil is in the details, what I'm talking about is there's a detail in your behavior. What do you want? What's the outcome you want? They have this old saying, you can choose to be right. So you have to make a decision. You want to be right or you want to be happy, right? It's an old saying. But what the saying is essentially boiling down to is, why are you engaged in this thing that is bringing you frustration and anger and disappointment when you don't have to be? Well, I want to prove to them that I'm right. Okay. Or you could be happy. right? So there is this point where we have to accept, and many people put this in relationship in regards to marriages, but it's just in life in general. There are a lot of things out there that we can desire to achieve or want to see success in that area, but in order for you to really start to move towards it, uh, you have to understand that those details are in you, not in the other people, right? Those details are in uh, um, those details are in your assessment of your behaviors and then the actions that you take in regards to those assessments. It's not the details in the other people, it's the details in you. And we all have to focus on the details in us. We all have to get to a point where we realize what we're talking about and what we're discussing are our own behaviors, our own reactions, our own area of responsibility. When we understand that those things are on us, it makes it a lot easier for us to deal with those things, a lot easier for us to make course corrections and to live correctly. No, Daryl, not. Come on, you're funny. So we want to focus on those details. What is this one? Just spoke about discipline, man. You don't get here late and then start yelling in the chat. Come on. Who is that? Rimble? Grimball? Grimble? Uh, so when you talk about discipline, I just went over that. Discipline is the awareness part. Discipline is the part that you have to apply. I just went over the 4 pillars of discipline. Discipline has 4 pillars. Starts with repetition. Repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. That's what discipline is. Because everyone says discipline is going to be on the consistency. But you can't be consistent at something that you don't know, that you don't have the skill to perform. You can't hit field goals consistently if you haven't learned how to take the action of even attempting a field goal. You have to work on it. It starts with repetition, showing up, going through that process, being patient, understanding it won't be, I'm not going to be perfect at this. Not from the beginning, but you continue to work. That's the practice. Repetition and patience is the practice. And then once you start to perform at a high enough level, you start to be tested. And then once you start to be tested, you start to see the growth. And the awareness, as you said right there, who is that? Uh-huh. The awareness, or is that Is it is that or uh-huh? Which one is that? The awareness is the details, right? That's what it is. It's the discipline to the details that helps the thing be successful. Take a look on the channel. I discuss it on a regular basis. It's a really big thing. Whether you're talking about your fitness, your finances, your family, whatever it is, you have to understand that you have to pay attention to the details. And so as we continue to talk about growth and we continue to talk about development, and we understand that we're talking about doing these things not because someone else has told us to. Because as I said before, this is our life. These are decisions about us and the things we have to do. Then it starts to help us move forward, right? That's one of the things that we all have to take accountability for. And for many people, we've been taught to look out and taught to look at what others are doing, how others are behaving, what other people say, what other people have access to. We've been taught that it's all about what's happening everywhere else and not about what's happening with us, not about what we're doing and how we're behaving. And when we live in that mind state, when we live in that space, then we lose the ability to control our life. If everything in your life is the way it is because of someone else or something around you, then you're not living your life. You're just alive and you're just walking around in someone else's life. If everything that happens to you is controlled by someone else, there's nothing you can do to change who you are. There's nothing you can do to change where you are. There's nothing you can do to change your destiny because you've already put it in someone else's in someone else's life, in someone else's hands. And this is why we want to focus on those details. This is why we want to understand where we are. Hey, how you doing? Welcome in, TV. What's up with you, Jay? Welcome in. Thank you guys so much for being here this morning. Guys, I think one of the biggest things that I have dealt with in my past, one of the biggest things that were a part of my development that I had to learn and I had to go through was just that component of taking it on me, right? I told you earlier about the coach that was giving me instruction on a specific way, and it was just about blocking. It was just about foot and hand position on trying to block. And me being bigger than most people, the foot and hand position was more difficult, right? So I was like, no, I'm just big. I'm gonna just use being big. And in that process of having this conversation, and in that process of growing up, I felt like he was trying to change me. And then when he told me, no, I'm not trying to change you. I'm trying to change the way you're doing what you're doing to help you grow. When we're looking at this and we're taking ownership of our own lives, we have to take control of those things. Be ready to grow. Be excited about growth and the opportunities that are presented with it. Be excited about becoming the version of yourself that is free of blame or the process of blaming others for where you are. Life is always happening and we're always engaged. But we can do more than just be alive. Live requires action. Living, right? Living is an action word. Living, that requires action, not just being alive, right? Alive is a physical state, right? It's alive, but is it living? And so when we start talking about, hey, I'm living, right? When we start talking about, hey, these are the behaviors that I take in my life, we start to understand that focusing and working on ourselves and our growth is a part of living. It's in the details, man. Look at the details. Humans worked long before there was any form of currency. Why are children bored? Children are bored because they're looking for something to do. There's more to life than being entertained. There's the working aspect of it. The body craves growth. It craves development. It wants to move forward. It wants to be bigger. It wants to do more. When we don't provide it with the opportunity to do so, we're challenging it. And we're falling behind because we're not taking a look at these details. I was a personal trainer for years. During my time as a personal trainer, it was interesting because I would work with clients and I would talk to them and I would say, okay, what we're doing here is a specific movement designed to target a specific muscle. And this is the position you need to be in order to be able to achieve this movement and to get the benefit from going through this process and doing this exercise correctly. So many of my clients, whatever exercise we're talking about, lunges, squats, bench press, push-ups, pull-ups, the body will modify. The body's like, okay, we're just trying to get this done. What's the path of least resistance? Which muscles do we have that are the strongest? Let's just put ourselves in a position to get it done. And I'm like, yeah, you went down, you came back up. Here's some things we want to look at, because there are a group of muscles that can help make this process easier, make it more efficient, help to improve on your health and your stamina, your longevity, your existence, just the way you feel. All of those things can be improved, but we need to get your feet here. We need to get your hips here. We need to get your knees here. So, so when my son was younger, I used to tell him everything starts from the athletic position, son. It's the head, shoulders, knees, and toes song. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes is all about making sure that you have your head up, your shoulders over your knees, and your knees over your toes, and your feet slightly apart up under your shoulders. So all of those things are in line. That's an athletic stance. It's one of the most explosive positions you can be in. And my son tells me, he goes to gym, his gym teacher is like, athletic stance. And so he would just like yell it out to the class, athletic stance. And my son came home, he was like, listen, I'm pretty done with you and my gym teacher in this athletic stance. I don't want to be an athlete. But it's the details of the positioning because of what it allows for you to do. But for so many of us, it's not, man, just do it. Okay, you can just do it. You can get started. But if you keep doing it, I mean, if you want to be truly successful at it, you're going to start touching on some details. And when you start touching on the details, you need to be prepared to do it right and not just do it. Just do it is the beginning. That's how we get started. But as we grow, as you do it with repetition and patience, you're going to your body's going to want to start to improve at it. It's not going to be okay with just doing it. Your body's going to be like, okay, we doing it. Why? Detailed question. This is why so many people don't like answering the question of why. This is why so many people don't have a why. Why is a detailed question. Man, do this. Why? And if you can't answer the question why, you don't know enough about what you're doing in order for you to be doing it. Even if that thing you're doing is working on you. If you can't answer the question why, you don't have enough information. If you're trying to save money and you ask yourself why, and you don't really know why, you need to learn some more. I'm missing something. I need to get more detail. You're trying to lose weight. Why? I need to learn more. I got to ask more questions. I need to get more detail. Why do you want to lose weight? How much? At what rate? What's going to happen for you? The devil is in the details, guys. When we're talking about doing anything in our lives with discipline and awareness, as we stated before, it's got to be the awareness is the details. The awareness is taking a look at what actually is trying to happen and what you're trying to achieve, and then start looking at those little things that slip through the cracks. Finances is a big one, people. Money is a big one. Financing is simply structuring the currency or investments necessary to achieve a specific task. Financing. For most people, it's tied to money, but these are about investments. Where are you investing your time? Where are you investing your thoughts? That's where you invest your energy. That's where you invest your money. So it's more than just, oh, well, I'm just doing my thing. You're doing a thing. But if you're not getting to where you want to be, it's because we have to ask more questions. We need to get more detail. And when we ask the right questions and we get the right detail, we get the right answers, we now have something to work with. We have something to drive with, something to truly move us forward. Of course you will. The ever-loving outdoors, of course you will. The ever-loving outdoors said, you can do everything right doesn't mean you'll be successful. Of course you will. You just have the wrong definition of successful. You just have a misunderstanding of what it means to be successful versus being perfect, versus being done, right? Successful is the completion of something, right? Success is what you achieve along the path towards mastery, which means in each of those levels, in each of those endeavors, you've been successful. I don't know if you're here anymore, the ever-loving outdoors, but successful is an achievement. Success is a part of the process of working and going towards mastery. And for each one of those things, as you achieve success by doing it the right way, you have been successful. You pursue mastery with discipline, you're guaranteed to be successful. We can talk about it, we can speak about it, but when you understand it, when you look at the details of it, you'll see that's exactly how you get there. Doesn't mean everything is going to be perfect, but you will be successful. We have to learn how to grade things. Geez, Mo Netley, walking in the dark is the best until you trip and fall. Y'all don't let me lay out here in this dark. If I fall down, people, y'all better call somebody. Y'all know where I'm at. Don't let me lay out here in this street. Y'all ain't said nothing. Y'all just in the chat. Where you go? Is he is he breathing? Can y'all hear him breathing? Thank you again for being here this morning, guys. It is now 6:35. Thank you for being a part of the Walk and Talk. I want to thank you guys for stopping in and allowing for me to share this morning with you. I want to encourage you guys to continue to travel your path, take your journey, live life with discipline. Understand that where you're going will be driven by you, but you have to take the steps necessary to get there in order to get there. Meaning, if you're going somewhere and you're still doing the things that got you to where you are now, you got to ask more questions. Got to continue to grow. If you're somewhere and the things that you've done have gotten you there, we need to figure out what's the next thing to do to get to the next place. How do we do it? This is going to require of us a focus on the details. And the details are us. What are my behaviors? What time am I waking up? Why am I waking up at this time? Do I ever wake up for just me? Or do I always wake up for others? Do I wake up because the kids need me? Do I wake up because I have to go to work today? Do I wake up because my friends want to hang out with me? Or am I waking up because I want to work on me? Am I waking up to watch a television show? Am I waking up to be a part of an event? Or am I waking up to deal with me? Am I waking up this morning because I'm the focus of my life? And there's some things I want to do for me. When we come to the realization and we come to an understanding that the things that we're doing, the life that we're living, and the way that we go through this process requires these details, and we learn to wake up for ourselves. We learn to work on ourselves. We learn that the details about our own behaviors are relevant and important to our own success, growth, and happiness. We can get further and further. It's in those details. Let's start taking actions that are about us, that are about growth. Let's use the 4 pillars of discipline: repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance, so that we can move forward. We can start to see the things we want to see. Life is all about growth. The world is constantly changing. Continue to grow. Continue to ride the wave and be a part of this growth process. I'm on my way back in the house right now. It is cold. Thank you for being here this morning, guys. It's been a pleasure, man. Please do me a favor, guys, as we continue to grow. It's important that we continue to understand that this process is the repetition process. Repetition isn't short. Repetition takes time. Repetition and patience. We think we're going to get everything done quickly, but we just have to continue to be repetitious and patient. And then we start to add that consistency. And when we add consistency with a grade, that's where we track growth. I want to thank you guys for being here this morning. As always, it's a pleasure to share. My name is Oloropo. It's been a joy having you here. If you haven't done so yet, please tap that like button, like, subscribe, share. It's a great way to help the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. Remember the 4 pillars of discipline. I'm going to repeat them again. Repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. Stay in that repetition and that patience phase because it's where you practice and where you learn. And then that's how you develop consistency. It's been great to have you here this morning, guys. I want to always let you know it's a joy. I'll be here in the mornings doing this walk and talk. Please drop back in, hit that subscribe button, tack that notification bell so it'll pop up when I go live. And for you guys, I want you to have a wonderful Saturday out there. And remember, keep showing up, keep blowing up, keep growing up. Until next time, guys,